Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Angela Shurina. I'm your host, I'm your Brains Coach, and it is my job here to bring to you all the best brain body tools so you make better decisions, so you feel, look, and do your absolute best. Folks, I'm back to Cape Town from Turkey, Istanbul, where I was renewing my visa and exploring the city a little bit. I had my birthday yesterday while on the plane, flying, doing my yearly review, setting goals. I actually started traveling on Saturday morning. I had to take 2 flights with an 18-hour layover to get to South Africa, Cape Town. It's quite far from everything else, but it was good. They put us in a hotel, etc. But on the first flight, I sat together with a United Nations consul or ambassador. I don't really know his title exactly. He is in charge of some compliancy and security protocols in different countries and regions. And we were talking about what we do. And we started talking about this idea of system thinking and system design, because in his work, he has to work on different projects across different regions. And he learned a long time ago, and they also took courses, and he had like a couple of master's degrees. So a long time ago, he understood as a leader that when it comes to system thinking, system design, solving complex problems, you cannot just work on one thing. You kind of have to take into account all the things that influence the outcome that you're trying to change. And then we started talking about health and about what I do. And I told him, like, for example, if you want your brain to work better, if you want to be focused, if you want to be more productive, if you want to be motivated, how important it is to take care of the whole system. That is your body, all the processes, your brain, obviously, nutrition and lifestyle support, and then your mindset, how you think, your psychology. And I personally believe that biology comes first. The hardware, if you have your computer without good hardware, or if something doesn't work machinery-wise, no software will fix it. You cannot run software, even if it's the best one, on the broken hardware. So the same with our body and our brain. Our brain runs our operating system. But what supports great function of our brain is great health of our body. The brain is part of our body. So if we don't take care of our fitness, of our nutrition, of our lifestyle, of our movement, of our sleep, over our stress management, things that influence our hardware, so to speak, our brain will struggle to deliver its best performance, to do its best thinking, to make its best decisions. Everything else is going to be either a struggle or close to impossible. So we connected really well on that system thinking aspect of things. And then, of course, we talked about personal stuff. And the reason, folks, I'm telling you that is because it leads to the listen to the practices that I want you to adopt, and I want you to understand why they're so important. And the ambassador, the consul, I'm going to keep his name private. He was quite energetic, and you could see that his health is overall good. Great energy, enthusiasm, motivation. He was always looking after everyone else around him, like just being, a natural leader, or not natural, but someone who's been in that position for a while. And I asked him about his lifestyle, and he said, well, a long time ago, I stopped consuming any sugar. I stopped drinking any sodas. And when before work, every day, he told me he chooses the place where he lives based on different, where he is location-wise, country-wise. He chooses a place, an apartment that allows him to do a walk every single day before work. So he doesn't have to spend time in traffic, but also so he gets the movement in, because he said, well, I never know how my day's gonna go, and I don't know when I'm gonna get my workouts, etc. And my work is pretty much on my computer, and I sit in the office, and so I need to make sure that I get my walking in, I get my steps in, and I move. And, before work, after work, a couple of other, things that he told me, that, for example, when he gets to go back home, he's actually from Turkey. His father, for example, has like this garden with all the organic food, and that's how he grew up. He gave me all those details, and I could see where this energy, this great health, great quote unquote genetics come from. And because of his lifestyle, because how he starts his day with movement, with breakfast. I don't know if he does any meditation or prayer, or we didn't talk about that. But it's kind of like health success leaves clues, follow them. But not only that, he does certain foundational things that have been shown by science to create great foundation for a great day every day. And these are the foundations I want to give to you. But folks, let's stop for a moment. On the second flight yesterday, my birthday, I was looking over my business as well. And I realized why a lot of my offers didn't work. And I realized what I needed to do to fix them. And while talking to the ambassador, I also realized what kind of people I might want to serve and what they actually want. So he gave me also a lot of ideas about the offer and what people actually might want from what I do. Anyhow, so I looked over my offers, and I started even designing the program that I'm going to offer in starting this week. Later this week, it's going to launch. And the first week of the program, based on the work of a lot of people who do coaching, but also on the book 100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. So in the first week, or as soon as possible, you gotta give people you work with a big win, something that tells them, that shows them that this is gonna work, that this produces result. And so I thought about my program in the first week, and I'm like, okay, what can I teach people? What skills can we adopt? What habits can we create in order to start feeling better right away? And then it also made me think about the ambassador. And I realized that if we agree that sleep is important, right, is a foundation, it's not even non-negotiable. It's just something you gotta do. So if we agree and schedule 8 hours of sleep on the same schedule most nights, and then every morning we do just three things, folks. When the sun is out, somewhere between sunrise and 2 hours after, you get out there and you go for a walk, to run an errand, to maybe do a walk before work, maybe walk your kids, walk your dogs. Figure out a way to get out there in the first couple of hours of sunrise. And then, so you get your sun, 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how sunny it is. You get your movement through walking. If you are at the beginning of resetting your health, start simple, folks. Walking for most people is actually very pleasurable, unless you have injuries and it got to a point where it hurts you. But for most people, walking in the morning, viewing sunrise light is actually very pleasurable. Maybe you even get coffee and you get that pleasure boosted. Did you know, by the way, folks, I already talked about this on this podcast, that when you consume coffee with whatever it is you do, with your habit or around people, that you're gonna like those people more and you're gonna love what you do even more. Coffee makes everything else more addicting, so to speak. You kind of start loving everything else that you do with your coffee more. It's based on research, and Andrew Huberman, I believe, was the first who mentioned it. But everything that you do alongside coffee, you'll start loving it more. Probably because it also boosts dopamine. It actually makes dopamine receptors more sensitive to that dopamine. Probably because of that, it's then reinforced, and your brain has this capacity. It looks at everything else that happens at the same time of this dopamine reinforcement, dopamine boost, and it makes you want to do more of those things. Your brain makes you want to do more of those things. So whatever you do with your coffee, if you start doing your morning walk with a cup of coffee in your hands, that I see a lot of people do here in Cape Town, especially now, chilly mornings, then you're going to love that activity even more. So movement, sun, and then at some point you have your breakfast, and in that breakfast you have your 30 grams plus of protein, and make it whole foods, make your breakfast something you're proud of. And believe it or not, folks, there is also good research on the primacy quality principle. The things you do first set the mood for the things that do after. The same with nutrition. If you start your day with great nutrition, with protein, with a lot of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, fiber, your hunger levels, your appetite going to be more balanced, your energy going to be more balanced. All the processes are going to run much smoother. You're going to have much more balanced productivity throughout the day. So what you do first in the morning, you create the mood, the tone for the day. And that's why it's so important to dial in your morning routine. What we know from research, based on how our biology works, how our circadian rhythm works, get out there in the morning, do the movement, and then have your breakfast. Probably coffee is best also delayed. For most people, it has to do with adenosine, this molecule of sleepiness in our brain, and how it's cleared out during first hours. And if you put caffeine on top of that too early, you delay the clearance, and that's how you can create stronger and deeper energy crush in the late morning or early afternoon. So that being said, folks, get out there, right? Get your sun, get your walk. Maybe you do some errands. Also, if you need to really kind of optimize your time. And then have breakfast, in which you have your 30 grams of protein. Animal is best, but then you can have a shake, maybe, drop some blueberries, bananas there, something very natural, again, with a lot of oxidants, fiber, and then your protein, a handful of walnuts that have those essential fats, and plus fiber and antioxidants, essential fats for our brain. It's like the one-on-one of brain nutrition, right? Get your fiber, get your 30 grams of protein, antioxidants, your omega-3 fatty acids, and you're good to go. So start your morning like that for 7 days, every single day. Wake up on the same time. I, don't care, but try to view the sun the first couple of hours of sun rays. So wake up, get your movement, get your sun, get your breakfast with 30 grams plus of protein, and see how amazing you're gonna feel. And that's what I'm gonna design into the first week of my new upcoming program that's gonna have a systematic approach to our health, productivity, our well-being in general, based on the latest cutting edge best research that we had. It's not just good to have, it's something that is required to set your biology in the right way, optimizing your brain-body chemistry, your metabolism, your brain chemistry, the production of certain neurotransmitters, and the function like dopamine, serotonin, that are crucial for our energy, productivity, and learning process, and being our best confident selves, and having, again, everything balanced from energy to productivity to sleep. So do this every morning. Again, also go to bed on the same time. 7 days. You sleep for 8 hours. Don't care, don't worry right now about details. Just get your sleep in on the same hours. Get your sun in the morning. Get your movement. Then get your breakfast with 30 grams of protein. And again, even better if there is some fiber, antioxidants from things like blueberries, bananas. Maybe you have your oatmeal with protein powder mixed in, and then drop a handful of walnuts there, and see how your week gonna go and how much better, more productive, more focused, motivated, just upbeat and into your best moods and self you're gonna be. So this is the quick win that I'm gonna design again in the first week, and I wanted to share this today on Monday. So you think about that, you plan for it, you design for it. So what you want to do is easy, and then you do this experiment for the next 7 days. Let's say starting either today, if you can, or on Tuesday, and just do it for 7 days and see how much better you're gonna feel from this regularity and really good dialed in science-based morning routine. And that's what I wanted to share with you today, folks. Own your morning. Own that part of the day based on science, and you'll be blown away how much better you feel and do. This is the message. And again, when I meet people like this ambassador consul, I'm not sure what his title was, I always try to interview them without them even realizing that, saying, okay, where do they do things right, even if they don't realize that? And then I get those details and I'm like, that actually makes sense. It's not magic. And across the board, whenever I interview people who are high performing, who are in great health, and I'm talking about age and in great health. It's easy to be, healthy in your 20s, even your early 30s. But when 40s, 50s, if you don't take care of yourself, things start to break and hurt universally. That's when, youth is not forgiving anymore, and you kind of have to get your stuff together. Otherwise, the last decades of your life that might have been the most prolific, because that's when you accumulate the most experience, wisdom, knowledge, social status, probably money for most of us. Those last decades of your life could have been like the best, where you get the most joy. But if you have pains in your body, if you don't feel comfortable in your body, if movement is a struggle and you can't enjoy time with your fit friends, maybe your fit spouses, maybe your fit kids, and you kind of, out of everything and everything is a struggle, that's not going to be a great place. So folks, take care of your health today and start with that simple routine that can be now your minimal morning routine that sets your day for the right biology and mood and psychology. And again, all research based. If you need more research and data, please reach out. I'm going to give it to you. For the next 4 days of the week, I'm going to actually share with you my system that I also thought of on my 6-hour flight yesterday. I kind of refined it and put all the pieces together, and I'm going to also run it in the next few months, maybe even next month. We'll see. The system for brain-centered weight loss, weight management, how to reset your body weight set point. So when you lose weight, you don't gain it back. That's what happens to, I believe the statistic is 90% of the people, you regain it back because you do your weight loss in the wrong weight. It doesn't reset your set point, and your body always wants to get back to balance. So brain gut centered weight loss, the essentials that I learned having worked in the field and studying neuroscience. Well, having worked, I worked in the field for 10 years of weight loss, body composition, change and coaching. And then I got into neuroscience, and then I learned a lot about brain research when it comes to weight loss, appetite, the connection between our gut, our brain, and I put together a system that then I also listened and read researchers and other experts, and they all agree on the same things, folks. And I followed it with my clients. I helped women in their 50s and 60s install it, so to speak, and use it. They lost weight. Entrepreneurs in their 30s and 40s lost weight. It's one of a kind system, folks. So I'm going to share it with you, 4 pillars over the course of the next 4 days, Tuesday to Friday. So stay tuned for that. Then next week, things get even more interesting. I'm going to share with you the system that I designed on the plane and that I'm going to launch this week. So a lot of exciting things happen, but they will be even more exciting if you can be your best self, your sharpest, most focused self every single day showing up. So show up for this podcast for the rest of the week, and also show up for yourself every single morning. Get your movement, get your sun, get your protein-rich breakfast. And that's about it, folks. Don't forget to please do share this podcast with as many people as possible. Screenshot, tag me, rate our podcast if you are an iPhone user on iTunes. If you are any other phone user, there is a Podcast Addict, there is Teacher. Please put something, thumbs up, stars, write a review. That means a lot, and it helps this podcast to get into hands and ears a lot more people, so we all do better and we know how to feel, do, and look our best. Thank you, folks. Have an awesome Monday. Stick with the routine for the next 7 days. Share this podcast. Stay tuned, and I'll talk to you very soon.